Hello, I'm television and radio producer-presenter Rob McKnight. With over 30 years' experience, this is Media McKnight. Well, it seems staff within the ABC have learnt the fine art of avoiding transparency by making sure they don't put anything in writing. Last week, I gave an update about my ongoing FOI application with the organisation about my reporting on its plans for national news over Easter. Well, the second round of FOI documents has come through, and wouldn't you know it, a document has suddenly turned up that wasn't supplied as part of my original request. And while this email is short, it explains everything you need to know about the ABC. In response to my original email, the PR comms person forwarded it to former head of news, Justin Stevens, news executive Donna Field, and Melanie Withnell. And what did it say? Let's discuss offline. Let's discuss offline. I think that says it all. No paper trail in case of an FOI request, and no acknowledgement the government broadcaster tried to discredit my reporting by changing its plans and misrepresenting those plans to other media. I think this is outrageous. They have programs that demand transparency from private companies, and they would be outraged. And if a minister was on Four Corners being asked about let's discuss this offline, do you think a reporter on Four Corners would put up with that? No, they wouldn't. The reporter would saying, isn't that an attempt to hide information? Knowing that you won't leave a paper trail and you are saying let's discuss offline because you don't want someone to be able to put in an FOI request and get to the truth. Isn't that right, Minister? Well, they're the exact same questions I have for the ABC. So I've submitted a new FOI request that is not limited to emails, but now broadens the search to any notes, text messages, or any other forms of records held about this matter by Sally Jackson, Donna Field, Melanie Withnell, and Justin Stevens. I'll keep you updated. The fight is not over yet. Look, I know there's been a lot of headlines about Kyle Sandilands and his new streaming service, and yes, there were still some technical issues this morning, but you've got to hand it to him when it comes to doing the right thing by his audience. On Friday, the show was shut down early due to ongoing problems.
Now,
yes,
we were scared this day might come.
Yeah, and we're so sorry that the tech has failed us today because the show that we had planned would have been incredible.
Got all these guests on their way. One's already here, right?
Yeah. But we don't want to also you not to hear it. And we've tried a few times, and I think we're just going to upset you more if we keep coming back and then disappearing again. So we've decided today to not take the show to air.
And use the weekend to properly get everything sorted.
Yeah. Yes. So, Monday we'll be back with new equipment because we've ordered everything, and hopefully we don't have these issues again.
You know, there's a lot of talent working on that show, but you've got to give it to Kyle. To make up for Friday's short show, he got everyone in on Sunday to make a bonus show while they sorted things out. It's the kind of stuff that really connects with the audience. It makes them feel important, and it's why his fans have been so patient with everything. Have a look at this part of the show, recorded by the Quarter Hour podcast, thankfully, because it's not on their website. In it, Kyle dropped a massive bombshell about KIIS.
I've got an announcement to make, a little sneaky bit of information I've got.
Yeah.
They've just signed Dr. Chris Brown to replace me over at KIIS.
How'd you get the goss?
I know everything that happens in radio. So,
okay.
Who's the lady that was on? She was the weekend girl. She's very good.
Amy Gerard.
Yes, that's
Gerard
right.
is really fantastic.
Yeah, she's good. So Amy's going to do breakfast female and Dr. Chris Brown. Now, I like Dr. Chris Brown, but this whole show is a flop from before you even start.
He's not wrong there. We all like Dr. Chris Brown, but he will be the kiss of death for ARN. I'll explain why in Thursday's edition of Inside Mail on the Daily Mail website. Of course, ARN has denied Kyle's reporting. Of course they have. I have no doubt that it's true, though, and it says everything about the future direction of ARN, and it's not good. You might be thinking that with all these technical issues, Kyle's show is unwatchable. Well, that is far from the truth. In fact, it's a very easy watch and listen in the morning, and I find it a fun alternative to the TV breakfast shows. If you're like me, thanks to social media, you're generally across the news cycle anyway, and you can catch up on any major developments in the news websites. So having Kyle on in the background while I work away, well, it's become my new morning routine. Meanwhile, it was good to see Kyle's manager, Bruno Boucher. He took a much-needed day off on Tuesday morning. On Monday, he did not look good, looking like he had finally hit the wall after months of sleepless nights. Fans were worried. Hell, I was worried, but he wanted to keep going. Kyle explained this morning that it took his wife to come in and drag him home because he wouldn't listen to anyone. We love you, Bruno. You've done an amazing job. Now get some sleep. Now, before we go to our next story, I've got a bit of a favour to ask. If you know any advertisers who would be a good fit for Media McKnight or McKnight Tonight, can you please get them to pop me an email at rob@tvblackbox.com.au. We've got some really great content that's connecting with audiences, and we're starting to see some real, genuine results on YouTube. But we do need some help. We don't have a sales team. It's a family affair. We're literally doing this show from our garage on the Gold Coast. So if you know an advertiser, or maybe you know someone who'd just like to help us keep going, a benefactor, if you like, please get them to pop me an email at rob@tvblackbox.com.au. It will help us keep doing what we do from our garage on the Gold Coast. The Logies have come and gone for another year, and there's been plenty of commentary about Robert Irwin hosting the awards. He delivered pretty much what I expected. Plenty of enthusiasm, but little in terms of comedy. And can someone please explain the point of the Russell Coight opener? I get the idea of doing something fun, but when Irwin passed out and started dancing, I thought it was some big elaborate skit. No, it was just the opening act, and it felt like we were back in the 70s again. While it wasn't a bad idea to have a fun opener with Glenn Robbins, it was like the writers didn't know where to take it, and they clumsily tried to segue from this idea of a cold open with a videotape piece into the live dancing routine, which I assume had already been planned out the moment Irwin was booked to do the gig. Meanwhile, did you notice the continuity error? Have a look at this scene.
Robert Irwin, Russell Coight. You Russell Coight? I'm lovely to meet you, mate. And nice to meet you too.
Did you spot it? Look at the wide shot just before the handshake. Irwin is wearing his short sleeve khakis, his usual attire, but in the close-up, Irwin is wearing a black long sleeve top. If that is even Irwin's arm, what happened? Did they not have enough time with Irwin and someone else stood in? It was very sloppy. Deb Mailman being inducted into the Hall of Fame was the highlight, and I loved A Country Practice also being inducted. But did we need a third with Andrew Denton? Nothing against Denton, I love him. But I do like the idea of one person and one show being awarded the Hall of Fame. We didn't need the third. The show rated really well, delivering 1.3 million for the red carpet and just under 1.5 million for the awards proper. And what about Hey Hey It's Saturday getting into the list of the top TV shows despite being snubbed from TV Week shortlist? To come in at number 25 is quite the achievement, considering the shortlist was designed to prompt readers. Most of the shows that made the top 70 were from that shortlist devised by TV Week of 140 shows. So well done, Daryl Summers and team. You did well despite the odds being against you.
I think the challenge was...
Turn your podcast into a TV show.
Oh, I love this.
For just $80 per hour, you can have your host anywhere in the world.
The mandates are off in America here.
With graphics tailored to your show.
Can I just dispense with all of the emotional kind of foreplay and just jump in? Do you mind?
Video Podcast Services is run by media professionals who know how to make your content stand out from the crowd. Go to videopodcast.online.
YouTube is pivoting towards news and is set to change the benchmarks you need to achieve to be able to monetize your content. Starting in February, creators will have to reach 8,000 watch hours over 12 months or 20 million shorts views within 90 days to be accepted into the YouTube Partner Program. That's double the previous thresholds. Why? It's all about providing brand safety to advertisers. As reported by Puck News, a long-time digital media strategist and marketer wrote on LinkedIn that advertisers increasingly want predictability, known creators, established patterns, and lower risk of controversy blindsiding a campaign. By raising the bar to qualify for ad revenue, YouTube is effectively narrowing its pool of monetized creators to those with a longer track record. Basically, you will get rewarded the longer you're on the platform, and the algorithm understands your content. It's expected hundreds of thousands of amateur creators who have built their livelihoods around views, engagement, metrics, and AdSense, well, they will feel the effect of these new changes as their channels become less profitable. And there was also this bit in the Puck article that really caught my attention. According to the most recent Reuters Institute study on audience behavior, more than 75% of people now watch news via online sources like YouTube. For the first time since Reuters started tracking news consumption habits, more people watch online news videos than tune into broadcast or cable news. That's why you're starting to see a lot of ex-TV news journos popping up on YouTube. They bring credibility, and YouTube provides a popular platform. I don't know what these changes mean for my channel, but I'm hoping the content I deliver will become more prominent in the algorithm. It's been slow, but it's been steady growth for us, and it really feels like we're starting to get somewhere. All right, that brings us to the end of this edition of Media McKnight. New episodes go live every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. The paid members of the channel get instant access as soon as the episode is complete. Just go to youtube.com/@McKnightTonight to look at the very cheap options. I'm Rob McKnight. I'll see you soon. Cheers.